Hello, OpenChat community, and welcome to the OpenChat Town Hall live stream for January 2025. I am your host, ICP Jesse, and I am so excited to be here today with all of you. I first off want to start out by thanking you for being here. Oh boy, I'm getting an echo. Hold on. Let me figure out where it's coming from. It's just me. We are so excited to be here today. That music you heard at the beginning is Subterranean by our own Julian Jelfs. And this is the OpenChat team. Say hello, OpenChat team.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. We have so much to get to today, so let's just jump right into it. First up, we have Matt to talk to us about one of our new features, Verified Communities. So Matt, please take it away.
Hey there. So yeah, verified communities and groups have caused a bit of there's a feature that's caused a bit of a stir recently, with a sort of flurry of proposals where communities have been sort of quickly trying to get in on the act. So let me just go through what it is first of all. So representatives of a public community or group can make a proposal for it to be verified, which gives it a blue tick if the proposal passes. Now, why this? Well, the motivation is around fraud prevention, specifically relating to the community or group, whether the community or group legitimately represents its name. So we want users to feel confident that a particular group or community they're in does represent that name. I mean, let's think of a counterexample, a bad example. Say some dodgy community was representing itself as KongSwap and then giving links to some sort of fake KongSwap site, and then it's a way to defraud users basically. So another sort of particular example we have is there's a public community called Dfinity, which isn't run by Dfinity at all, and in fact it's now become pay-gated. And so if you have to pay one ICP, I think, to join, then you'll probably be quite disappointed that it doesn't in fact represent the opinions and the views and the conversation by Dfinity itself. And in fact, the proposal you can make in the proposal you can make to verify your community or group, you can actually specify a different name, the name of a community, an existing community group, as long as it's unverified, and you can claim that name. So, for instance, Dfinity could make a representative of Dfinity could make a proposal. If it passed, it could then claim the name back off this sort of this existing community. So some good and bad examples. I mean, not all. There's not a reason to have a blue tick in general for many communities and groups, but some good examples: OpenChat, the OpenChat community itself, perhaps an ICP project or an SNS, a cryptocurrency meme coin, Dfinity itself. These are all good candidates for having a verified tick. Some bad cases: there was one community, I think, called something like Prizes and Giveaways, that wanted to be verified, but it doesn't really, it can't claim to legitimately represent the name Prizes and Giveaways, and so that proposal was rejected by the DAO. It doesn't really need a blue tick. Or let's say football. If you had a community called football, and that doesn't really, it's such a general term. Or even Liverpool Football Club, if you've got some fans on the internet computer that wanted to talk about Liverpool, unless it was actually the football club then itself posting, then you wouldn't have a blue tick. But I suppose because we've kind of made this, we've just introduced this feature, the blue tick is quite prominent, and so I think lots and lots of communities and groups want to get the blue tick, even if it doesn't really make sense for them. So another detail, just what's more detailed, if you change say once you've become verified, you change, if you then change your name subsequently, then you're going to lose your status. And it's again simply because the verified status is about whether this community represents that specific name. And another thing, there's also sort of counter proposals to revoke the verified status of a community, perhaps because the owner's gone rogue, or there's another community with a more legitimate claim to represent that name. Just quickly show you. Yeah, well, here's an example of, this is in the OpenChat proposals channel, where, in fact, Hamish, in fact, made the proposal to mark the chip for chat. That's our airdrop community. Mark it as verified, and this is sort of good pattern to use. So he's linked to a Twitter post. So this is from this sort of OpenChat, legitimate. This sort of gives some sort of measure that this is a legitimate claim to that community. So if you see in this post, this is to verify that Chip4Chat OpenChat community is run by the OpenChat dev team. And then there's, once the proposal is actually live, we've got a follow-up post there. And as you can see, if you look on the left nav bar here, you can see these blue ticks. Actually, we're probably going to get rid of them from there, and so that you only see them next to the name. So, for instance, up here, it's currently on the avatar. It's probably going to move here because, as I say, because it's so prominent. I think community owners feel they need to have it, even if they don't really. And then, if you actually want to make such a proposal, if you just go to the Make Proposal item from the OpenChat Proposals channel menu and select, you can see you can verify community, group, or revoke community or group. And yeah, it's all pretty clear here. You can provide some evidence like your Twitter post or whatever, some sort of social media evidence or whatever evidence you want that you feel you need to provide. And yeah, then you choose your community, etc. Well, that's it. I hope everyone's got a better understanding of what the blue tick means now. And back to you, Jesse.
Thank you so much. I want to make sure, are we streaming in the chat? I'm a little worried that we're not streaming in OpenChat right now. I'm going to double check here to make sure this is all going.
Did you start a call in OpenChat?
Yeah, I did, but I seem to have lost it. Can someone in the chat just confirm? I apologize for the technical runaround here. I'm just trying to make sure everything's flowing.
I don't think we are streaming.
I don't think we are either. All right, hold on one sec. I'm trying to join the call, and I'm getting an error. I see myself. All right, stand by. I'm sorry about this. One moment. I'll fix it. This is what happens when we play with live ammunition on these calls here. All right, stand by. Jumping back in. I'm seeing my own video call and a pink screen when I log in there, and I'm not sure what to do. I'm so sorry about this. How do I end the current call? Can I not? All right, stand by. One moment here. Why? What do I do? Sorry about this. How do I'm not sure what to do to end this call because I can't join the call. Dev team, I'm not sure what to do.
What happened exactly? You started the call.
I started the call and now I'm out of. I lost the call, but I can't join the call because I started the call.
I
broke OpenChat, you guys. I did it. All right, stand by 1 second here. I mean, I can just move over to general, I guess, or something like that.
I can probably end it directly. I'm not sure what effect that will
Yeah.
have on OpenChat.
So sorry about this.
So what, when you try to join, it just fails?
It tries to watch and I get nothing.
So it's joining you back as a viewer as opposed to a presenter.
Yeah.
Oh, so
remove them.
if you were a presenter, yeah, I guess we didn't handle that.
So did you leave the call? Maybe you refreshed your browser
I
at some
think
point.
that's what happened. Yeah.
Then that would have left you. And okay, there must be some little edge case
So
there.
now when you
for
rejoin, you're a viewer rather than a presenter. That's
Yep.
the issue.
Yep, but it's okay. I'm just going to move us over to general.
Well, hang on. As if Julian can cancel the. He can maybe.
I've deleted the room, but I'm not sure it's going to take any effect in OpenChat.
This is what you get with OpenChat, guys. Live tech support while we figure these issues out right in the minute.
I think we'll have to. Oh, it's ended. Okay, you can. Shall I start, or do you need to start one?
I need to start it, unfortunately.
Okay, so you start another one now.
Hey, here we are. We're back. We're back, baby. I would like to apologize to everybody for the little technical runaround there, but I also would like to highlight the proof that this is all live and really happening on OpenChat. So thank you all. Thank you for the live tech support. We're just going to keep this show rolling. Matt, sorry for stepping on your presentation there. I'm really excited about verified communities. I think having clear identity and being able to back up and claim and show who people are is so incredibly important for building trustless communities in crypto. And I especially like how the verification process backs up to a DAO resolution as well. But if you have a reaction to what you're seeing here, the good news is we have a great way for you to share those reactions. So we're going to go over to Yvonne to tell us about quick reactions here.
Thank you, Jesse. And hello, everyone. As just mentioned, my name is Ivan. I am the newest member of the OpenChat dev team. Just been over 3 weeks now. And when I joined the team, one of the first things I was asked really was to take a look at the OpenChat app with fresh pair of eyes, since I was quite unbiased at that point, and to come up with things to identify potential problems, issues, fixes, any ideas, something that would contribute to OpenChat and overall user experience. So one of the first things that I kind of noticed, something that I've used quite prominently in other chat apps like Slack or Discord, was that there was no, let's say, easy way or quick way to react to other people's messages or to access certain actions over your own messages. So I suggested that we could add that feature, and the team, luckily, wholeheartedly agreed with me, and I got the opportunity to implement this for you, and hopefully you will enjoy it, or you are enjoying it already. In any case, the feature I'm talking about really is the quick actions hover menu on your chat message bubbles. As you can see here on my screen, like as you move your mouse over your message bubble, the menu appears. And the menu itself is actually split into two parts. So the first part would be really the reactions. So these are the first three emojis and the icon to choose to pick an emoji from a emoji picker. So these first three reactions are really your favorite ones, the ones that you've used the most. If you decide that you want to use another action more often, and you do use it, eventually it will actually replace one of the actions in this area here. This was added here so that you can actually quickly react to messages. what happens often is that within chats, especially if you're in a community or a group chat, the messages can flow relatively quickly, which doesn't give you a lot of time to go into menus and find the actions that you like or that you want to use. So we've added this for you here, so you can quickly kind of just go here, for example, and just quickly react to something. Now, the second bit of this menu are additional actions, which we thought might be should be more prominently available. And for example, depending on the context in which you are using the OpenChat, is it a group chat, a community, or direct messages, you might find that it looks a little bit different. So in this case, we are within a group chat. And for all messages, we have the ability to quickly reply in a thread. Threads can be quite powerful. They can allow you actually to have multiple conversations within, let's say, a single kind of container, where you can quickly kind of just spin off smaller conversations from certain messages that you've received. And for your own messages, we also provide here a very quick and easy way to quickly edit your own message that you feel like you need to change. For messages sent by other people within your chat, we have an option to quickly reply to their messages. This is quite useful. For example, again, if there are lots of messages being sent and you want to refer to one that's very specific that's been, maybe has been a little bit further back already, they can kind of quickly click on the reply button, and this will allow you to send a reply to that specific message. The last bit within the menu itself is just the regular context menu button, which allows you to access everything else that you might find relevant for your message or somebody else's message, and act accordingly. So this is what we have for now. This is currently only available on desktop, but we do have plans to allow a similar feature or implement a similar feature for mobile views as well. That should allow you sort of a similar flow and ability to also, again, quickly react and quickly, maybe even slightly quicker access to certain actions relevant for your messages. And another thing that is quite possible that eventually will happen is the ability to customize this and actually specify exactly which reactions you'd like to see here, or which other actions you would want to have on the right-hand side. So hopefully the feature looks good. I do hope that this is a feature you found quite useful. And as they say, stay tuned for future updates. That's all for me, Jesse.
Thank you so much. I'm already loving this feature, and I appreciate everything you've put into it. And I like that you started 3 days after me at OpenChat, so you can be new guy and I can be old experienced hand around here. So great job, new guy. Let's just keep things moving. Hamish, tell us about some infrastructure updates on OpenChat to power this whole thing while I try and break it.
Hello. Yeah, thank you, Jesse. So the previous two features have been things that are very much in your face, whereas I'm going to talk about a feature that no one has seen because it's not a visible change, but it has made a big difference behind the scenes. So canisters have two types of memory. They have heap memory and they have stable memory. And when you upgrade a canister, the heap memory is thrown away. And so what you have to do is you have to copy everything from heap memory to stable memory, then perform the upgrade, and then copy everything back. That's completely fine if you have, 1, 2, or not many canisters, but we have over 200,000 canisters now. And so every time we would upgrade them, we would be copying all of the state from heap memory to stable memory and back. And so the changes I did maybe finished it about a month ago was to start storing all of our large data sets directly in stable memory so that there was no need to copy back and forth during upgrades. So, for example, all of the chat events within groups and communities, all of the member details, all of that is now stored directly in stable memory. And so this means that upgrades are really quick and cheap. It means that we're no longer limited to the 4 gigabytes of heap memory, because stable memory of a canister can grow to something like, I think it's like hundreds of gigabytes. So we can now have huge communities, with like potentially millions of members. Who knows what the limit is, but it's a big number. And so just as an example, our largest community, the OpenChat community, when we'd upgrade it, it used to take close to 300 billion instructions. And, OpenChat has to pay for these instructions in cycles, whereas now it takes 22 billion. So that's roughly a 15 times improvement. And obviously that's a more extreme example because it's our largest community. But on average, I think the upgrade cost came down by about a factor of 5. So that's it. Going forward just means OpenChat is cheap to run and we can scale to huge communities. So back to you, Jesse.
Thank you. I love this back to you. It's like a very formal newscast here as we hand things around. This is great. That's awesome. I love it. The sort of rock solid nature of OpenChat is one of the things I like. I don't know about you guys. This has been very technical. I could use a little break, a quick dance party break, if you don't mind. So our friends over at Mission Comms, I think, I hear something coming through this wall next to me. Let's pop over there and see what's going on.
Coming to the Dollar Day party presented by OpenChat.
It's not every day you get invited to a Dollar Day party in Milwaukee.
Labs got the tech, it's out of sight. Mission comes, take us to a new height. In the Web3 world where the code is king, the art's evolving on the blockchain ring. The swap's a spot where we make it all swing. Tech's a party and we're doing our now. Dollar Day party, let's turn it up loud. Tech no boundaries, we're breaking the cloud. Sponsored by the best, we wear it like a crown. In this digital era, we're the talk of the town.
A lot of creators here and builders, entrepreneurs, all of that. Really impressive to see how people can leverage the tech.
There's so many great minds, have real drive and real vision.
We're here for innovation.
In this digital era, we're the talk of the town.
I'm really glad to be in this world with all these people who see it coming and are right there with me building it.
There's so many possibilities.
This is clearly a beautiful thing. This is the reality we want. You just have to build the solutions yourself, and we're going to do it together.
People are the heart, text, the endless beat. Together we're a force, there's nothing we can't beat.
We are building something better than what has been built.
We lift each other up, climb it every peak. Come along and feel the vibe. Innovation's our tribe. Creators and builders, no divide. Together in tech, we'll thrive. Dollar Day party, let's turn it up loud. Tech, no boundaries, we're breaking the cloud. Sponsored by the best, we wear it like a crown. In this digital era, we're the talk of the town. Dollar Day party, let's turn it up loud.
And I just want to give a shout out to the real dreamers, the visionaries, and the people with drive and who are working to build the future we want to live in.
Cheers to OpenChat, where the messages may be immutable, but our good times here will be unforgettable.
All right, let's keep this party rolling. We are ready for the big, meaty chunk that I'm most excited about. Julian, are you ready to tell us about the new OpenChat bot platform? All right, try to stop dancing to that music. I know it's tough.
I'm just reeling from that last metaphor from Dan.
All right, Julian and Matt, tell us about the new OpenChat bot platform. I can't wait to hear about this.
Okay, let's get going. We've been developing this for a while now, and we've been dropping hints and little snippets here and there on OpenChat, but we're just about ready to get this out the door and see what people do with it. So I'm just going to have a couple of slides just to sort of orient you around what these bots are, and then we'll hopefully get into a demo, which will make things clear. So a bot, generally speaking, it's a server component of some kind. It sits outside of OpenChat. I say server to make this deliberately vague. It could be a canister if you're building an on-chain bot, or it could be any other kind of server if you're building an off-chain bot. And we expect people will want to do both. But in general, it's a server that sits outside OpenChat and talks to OpenChat. So all the scenarios you can possibly imagine with bot integration will not be covered on day one, but I'll explain to you what we've got today, and it should cover quite a lot of scenarios, I think. At the moment, we've got you can think of it like three broad categories, and let's just have a look at what they are. Firstly, we've got command bots, and these are the sorts of things you will probably be familiar with from the OpenChat interface already. Like if you enter a / in the message entry box, you see a list of built-in commands. So what this type of bot is there to do is to kind of provide you the ability to plug in your own commands into that kind of structure. And the hallmark of that type of bot is that the interaction is triggered by an OpenChat user themselves within OpenChat. Okay, and we see this sort of thing in Discord and Telegram and whatnot. So that's the first kind. Secondly, we have what I've called integration bots, and this is where the interaction is not triggered by an OpenChat user, but rather by an external system. And that can be any system. It can be, an example might be a GitHub bot where you want to notify a channel when someone creates a pull request to your repository or something like that. And then the third kind would be a kind of fully autonomous sort of bot where it's not receiving a trigger from any external source at all. It's just sitting there independently and deciding when to interact with the OpenChat backend itself. So with these three, these aren't actually technically different things. These are just the different sort of ways in which a bot can behave. You could have a single bot that implements all three of these types of behavior, but this is a nice way of thinking about it if you're trying to think what can our current bot framework do.
Just giving sorry to interrupt, just giving a couple more examples. So in the case of integration bots, you could imagine that the bot could subscribe to a Twitter feed, and it could then echo posts from a particular feed into a channel. In the case of autonomous bot, you can imagine an AI agent being built using this sort of behavior. So carry on, Julian.
Okay, so I'm just going to go in a little bit more detail over each of these just to show kind of sort of somewhat technical view of how the interaction works and how it will proceed. So with the command bot case, it starts with the user, like I say, entering a / in the message entry box, and they will then choose the command they wish to run, enter any parameters that command requires, and then they'll have to request an authorization token from the OpenChat backend. All being well, OpenChat will give them that authorization token, and then that token will be sent to the bot server, and then the bot server will use that to do whatever it wants to do, right? Not whatever it wants to do, whatever it's authorized to do. And then it will send a response back to the OpenChat front end, and that can be generally it's going to be in the form of a message to enter into the chat that the user is interacting with. So that's pretty clear. With the integration case, it's less clear because there's no user that's triggering this. So in order to obtain one of these authorization tokens, we need some other mechanism, okay? Because we don't know who the user is in this case. And that's where these API keys come into the picture. In order to implement an integration or autonomous bot, you're going to need an API key, which is a key that's generated within a particular scope inside OpenChat. And by scope, I mean like a channel or a community or a group. And that key can be used by the external system. Pass that key into the bot server. The bot can then using that key, request an authorization token and perform the same sort of interactions that the command bot could do. So in this case, you would take your API key and you would probably, you'd give it to whoever's dealing with triggering the interaction from that external system. Like, for example, you might store it in a GitHub secret or something if you wanted to make the GitHub bot case. And in the final autonomous mode is very similar, except that you don't pass the API key into the bot for a specific interaction. You probably initialize the bot with that key, or you give that key to the bot persistently in some way, and then the bot maybe like you pass it in as an environment variable, for an example, and then the bot can just sit there on its own schedule doing its own thing, and every time it feels like doing something, it just requests an authorization token, a short-lived authorization token to do that action, and it can just do that repeatedly. So there are other scenarios that we can imagine bots wanting to do, listening out for messages and so on. And this will all come later, but these are the kind of interactions that we're supporting day one. So I'm hoping that I will be able to show you pretty much all of that. So let's move on to the demo. Actually, before I just move off that, you see at the bottom here, there's this link to the bots SDK repository. That is definitely a little bit behind where we are development-wise at the moment, but it will be the place to go for examples and documentation on how to do this. So we've been kind of developing this pretty much right up the wire. So that's why the docs will be a little bit behind at the moment, and it's also why, if anything goes wrong in this demo, that's why, because I've literally not even committed the code yet. So here's my local development environment with OpenChat running. So the first persona to think about here is the bot developer. At this point, let's say I've got my bot running locally, as I indeed have. OpenChat knows nothing about this bot initially, so the first thing that you need to do is register your bot with OpenChat. In the development environment, you can do that via a kind of shortcut command. This is only available in development build. In a live environment, you would need to register this bot via a proposal, because obviously bots, they have a significant amount of power within the system. We want them to be visible and subject to a certain amount of scrutiny, so they're going to be registered via proposal when going live. But I can register this myself in my local environment just manually. So this first thing I need to know is the principle for my bot, and this is to do with how a bot identifies itself to OpenChat. There are two types of technical implementation of a bot. One is that it could be implemented as an on-chain canister, and the other as an off-chain bot. In the canister case, this would just be your canister ID. But in an off-chain case, it's a little bit more complicated. The instructions on exactly how to obtain this principle are in the SDK repository. So I'm going to gloss over how I get it, but essentially you create a PEM file and you can derive a principle from that. But we'll just go sort of Blue Peter style and just say, here's one I prepared earlier for that. So my bot's running. This is its principle. Let's just call it testbot. We need a botty type avatar. So we're specifying the principle, who owns the bot, what's the bot's name, and then the most important thing here is the bot's endpoint, and this is where the bot is currently running. So we need this because the OpenChat is going to pull in the information about what this bot does and what its definition is by loading it from its own URL. So it must be running at this point. Mine is running locally because the whole setup is running locally. So once I've entered a valid URL, just hit this button, and then it's loaded a bunch of stuff. Okay, so the bot needs to, one of the parts of the sort of spec here is that the bot must expose this kind of definition on its endpoint so that we can load that schema and render what this bot does. So what we're seeing then is a description of the bot. We're seeing a bunch of commands if it indeed implements commands. and we're seeing some autonomous permissions. These are the permissions that it's requesting if it's running autonomously, not in command mode. The commands I have here, I don't expect this to be a coherent bot. This is kind of the goal of this bot is to demonstrate various concepts, and rather than to present a sort of coherent set of functionality. So this is a good opportunity for you as a bot developer to be confident that you've defined your bot correctly, because if you haven't, it may not load at all, or it may not load with, it may not look correct. It may not be asking for the permissions you expect or have the right commands. And you can look through these commands by just clicking on each one, and you see, the metadata about the command and the permissions that it needs to run. And you can just step through them, make sure they all look correct. So when you're happy with it, you would either submit your proposal in a live environment, or in this case, we just register it, okay? So that's my work done as a bot developer. My bot is now registered and exists within OpenChat. But it won't do anything as it is because no one is using it at this point in time. So the next persona is the community owner or group owner. They would have to go to the community members, and we'll see this new section about add bots, and this is where we'll see what the bots that have been registered with the system, and we'll be able to search for them. When there are more than one, we're going to get one in here at the moment. We can see a little summary of it. We can see the commands that it runs. We need to add a little visual indicator that this bot also has some sort of integration capability. We're not seeing that at the moment. So if I want to install this, I just click on it, and I get this dialog to add this bot to my community. Again, I see all the commands. These permissions here, this is not the autonomous permissions. This is an aggregation of all the permissions required by all of the commands. So I'm not being told the permissions here. I'm being asked the permissions. These are the permissions the bot is asking for. I don't have to grant them all. I might decide that I don't want people to be able to send image messages in my community, so I can uncheck that, and it will automatically disable any command that requires that permission. But let's leave them all switched on for now. So add the bot. And then having added the bot, I can go to members, and it will appear, as if it's a user of my community and the channel. It shows up in both places, so that will become relevant later. So when we see this here, we can do a few things. If we're the kind of owner of this context, we have a few options. We can remove it. We can review the permissions and change them if we want to. I'll come back to generating an API key, or we can just view the bot details, just get an overview of what it does from a command point of view. Okay, so next hat that I put on is the user's hat. What the user will see then with this bot, it both registered with OpenChat and installed in this context, is that the commands for that bot will be available when they enter the / in the message box. So if I do, for example, news, hit enter, gives me the headlines from the scraped off the BBC News website. It's just one example of what sort of thing a bot could do. Similarly, we've got a Spotify command here, which will take a parameter in this case and search for an artist on Spotify. So I can do that as well. These are, there's just a kind of random selection of things that a bot might do just to demonstrate the sorts of things that are capable of, like going off asynchronously and gathering some data from another source and sending a message into OpenChat. It's a pretty good example of the sort of thing you might do. You might be able to make a kind of token price bot or something like that using that kind of technique. So those are commands. That's we've talked about the first lot of behavior. So let's assume I wanted to tackle the second kind, an integration bot. So you can see we've got this generate API key link here, and we've got that in both the channel context and the community context. It's important to keep in mind that when you generate an API key, you're generating the key that gives access to the context where you generate it. So if I want to allow an external system to write messages into this channel, I generate the API key here. Similarly to when I add a bot, it's going to ask me for permissions. These are the permissions that the autonomous permissions that the bot is requesting. Again, I don't have to grant them all. I can choose what I want to let the bot do. Let's leave it as is. Then I generate an API key. And there is my API key. Now, that's not going to mean much to you, and nor should it. Doesn't matter. It's just a key. What's in the alert box here is important, though. You should consider this key secret. It gives you the power to programmatically write messages to this chat. So don't commit it to source control. Don't leave it lying around or email it to anyone. And also read that last line. I know people don't generally read things, but read that last line. You won't see this again once you've closed this dialog. You have to copy it, which I've just done. So then what do we do with this key? Okay, I'm going to use just a simple tool called Postman here, which just allows me to throw a web request at OpenChat. This is going to be simulating any old external system. Doesn't matter what it would be. I've got this set up to send a post request to this endpoint, which is the endpoint that my bot is listening on. The things to look for here is this X API key header. This is a previous version from when I was testing. I will replace that with the key I just copied from that dialog in OpenChat, and then send that request. And it's sending, let's send a message to OpenChat, and we can see it pop up behind there. That message has arrived within OpenChat, which is cool. Keep in mind that I did not have to tell this tool where to send this message in any way. It's all encapsulated in the API key, which is intentional. We can convince ourselves of that by going to a group, for example. You can also add bots to the group level. I'll just run through and add this bot to this group. If I generate an API key for the group, copy that. And this, overwrite this key with this one I've just copied. In this case, I'm sending a message to an OpenChat group. Again, I haven't told it where to send it. Come on, there it is. So it's arrived in the right place. So I mentioned that this is a secret key. You want to be careful with this key. But if you do leak it, if you accidentally commit it to source control or something, all you have to do is generate a new one, because these keys are context scoped to this context. There can only be one in this context. So if I feel like I've leaked my key and someone's up to no good with it, all I have to do is generate a new one. It's going to prompt me there saying, are you sure you want to do this? You're going to end up revoking access to anything that's using the current key. Yes, please. And you've got a new key. So if I copy that, like if I try and rerun this same action against the group with the old key, I get an error, it doesn't work. So no need to panic too much. And then if I just update the key with the one I just regenerated, I'm back in business and I can send again. So I don't have a specific demo of the autonomous case, but I think you can see that it's pretty similar concept. We would just take this key and we would inject it into a bot that's running behind the scenes, and it would be able to be, triggered by whatever. It would be able to operate on a schedule or on any external trigger you can imagine. And I also haven't demonstrated, because we haven't implemented quite yet, but we will soon, the ability to do things other than send messages into channels. If we create an API key at the community level, it's quite feasible that this bot could create channels or manage users or things, or anything that an admin can do within OpenChat interface itself. Those are all coming very soon, but as of today, this is where we're at. I think that's all I wanted to demo. So as they say, back over to you, Jesse.
Julian, that was awesome. Between the music and that demo, please leave a little bit for the rest of us on this stream here. That was fantastic. While you've been doing that, I've been in the chat, which is blowing up with ideas about different types of bots that we could create built on top of this tech stack. And I am you guys already know this, but I am endlessly talking about how excited I am about this bot platform and the possibilities it integrates, not just integrating with the larger web, but specifically unlocking the power of the ICP ecosystem, and creating this incredible tool that interweaves all these different technology pieces and delivers, I think, on a lot of the promise of the ICP architecture we're built on, which brings us to our next thing. I am so excited about these bots that are going to get made, because we are really excited to announce the OpenChat Botathon. We are launching a hackathon specifically for building bots on the OpenChat bot platform. This will be uniting OpenChat, AI, and on-chain apps together with the power of OpenChat bots. The OpenChat Botathon is going to be 31 days of awesome bot hacking tech deliciousness. We're going to be running it for the entire month of March. We're going to have a total prize pool of $50,000 equivalent in chat tokens to be distributed to the winners in these different categories. We want to see a huge, incredibly broad array of different bots in different categories. So we've got 5 categories that you'll be able to create and enter bots in: fun and entertainment, social and community, DEX and trading, utility and productivity, and of course, AI agents. If you're interested in that DEX and trading one, I really suggest you get in our chat right now to see what we're talking about and some of the just free $1 million ideas that are being tossed about in there. In addition, we'll have judges, and then we're going to have 3 grand prizes for our hackathon. Best of Show as selected by our team of judges, the Community Choice Award, and of course, the OpenChat Developers Favorite for creativity and outstanding achievement in bot coding. So, you know what's delicious? Robot dog food. We're going to be bot dog fooding this thing all the way down. Everything is going to be hosted on OpenChat. And I think an incredibly important part of this is the education and resources necessary to participate. So if you're participating in this, you'll be a part of our OpenChat bot community. We're going to have developer office hours where you'll have access to Julian to ask questions about everything you just saw here. They'll be doing live stream playtesting of bots for feedback and promotion. And you're getting access to volunteer mentors, developers, and custom documentation. So everything you need to make a incredible bot. So this is all going to be getting started really soon. We're teaming up with ICP Hubs Hong Kong, who are going to be helping us with community outreach and marketing. We're really excited to be working with that team. And starting today, we are launching the OpenChat Botathon community. I set up a tiny URL, but that is public, and you can find it in the Communities Explorer tab inside of OpenChat. But join the OpenChat Botathon community right now. We're going to start posting resources and information. You can get registered for our hackathon there. We are so incredibly excited to have everyone be a part of this. We think it's going to be really exciting. I've been reaching out to a lot of different of my favorite ICP applications about building bots. There's a lot of excitement. If you are seeing this and you're interested, please get in touch with us, join our community, and we're going to have a lot more details on this coming very soon. So that is the OpenChat Botathon. I cannot wait to get that off the ground starting March 1st. So that brings us to next. I am really excited. We are going to jump right into some. Ooh, what's going on here? We're going to jump into a little bit of information about how OpenChat is doing under the hood with some analytics and looking at our numbers. So I asked Fabio from Zero to Hero to take us on a quick little deep dive on our token terminal stats and show us what's going on and what our stats look like. Fabio, are you there?
Hello everyone, it's such a great honor to participate in this first edition of the OpenChat Town Hall. My name is Fabio, I'm a data analyst, content creator and community owner on OpenChat. Today I will display a ton of interesting data, charts, metrics and indicators on Token Terminal that highlight a lot of growth and adoption for OpenChat in 2024 and in the month of January of 2025. Let me display the first chart on Token Terminal all-time user registration count. Currently, OpenChat counts 219.2 thousand users. We have added 85,000 new users in 2024, which represents a whopping 70.6% increase year over year. Solely in the month of January of 2025, we have added 13.8 thousand new users, which represents a huge increase compared to the last month of December, in which we have added 8,000 new users. Moreover, most of these new users are verified with the proof of humanity. Therefore, OpenChat is now supporting real people on this platform, which is absolutely great to see. Let's move on to the next chart, monthly and daily active users. As you may see, the trend is clearly to the upside and monthly and daily active users have reached an all-time high on OpenChat. Currently, there are 32.8 thousand monthly active users and 17.4 thousand daily active users on this platform. Let's move on to the next chart, daily user online time. Currently, collectively, users are spending between 2.5 thousand and 2.8 thousand hours daily on OpenChat. On average, users are spending around 10 minutes on OpenChat. Personally, I'm spending much more than that, around 2 hours every day, simply because this is such a great platform. Let me now show you the daily message count on OpenChat. The trend is clearly to the upside since the month of July of 2023. Currently, users are exchanging between 25 and 40,000 messages on a daily basis on OpenChat, which displays a lot of growth compared to 2024 and to the month of July of 2023. Let's move on to the daily message reaction count. The trend here is also clearly to the upside. This chart represents and displays a lot of growth in the activity of users and in the user base for OpenChat. Overall, my favorite chart that I want to highlight here is the daily cheat claim count, simply because the cheat to chat campaign has been an absolute success for OpenChat. OpenChat managed to attract so many new users and, most importantly, active users to the platform with this campaign. As you may see, the trend is clearly to the upside and the cheat claim count reached an all-time high. Currently, 16.6 thousand users are claiming their cheat on a daily basis, which is absolutely great to see. Now let me show you the monthly code commits on OpenChat. This chart displays a lot of growth and adoption and a lot of developer activity on OpenChat. The team is constantly working, building and developing this wonderful platform. Let's end with the daily revenue on OpenChat, even though I don't have so much data history here, it's great to see the integration of money metrics on OpenChat as well, and I will be tracking this metric in the future to provide you the best information available. Before ending this short clip, I want to really emphasize the growth in terms of percentage points for OpenChat since the month of January of 2024. Monthly active users increase of 1,540%, daily active users 935%, daily user online time 880%, daily cheat claim count 773%, daily message count up 300%, daily message reaction count up 138%, and user registration count up 82%. Overall, as you can see, OpenChat is displaying a lot of growth overall. Thank you for participating in this town hall, and I will see you very soon on OpenChat. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for that, Fabio. And if you want more from Fabio, you can join his Zero to Hero OpenChat public community, where he's doing a lot of technical analysis and deep dives into data. It's really, really great stuff in there. And with that, I'm going to bring us back to the OpenChat team to talk about what is coming up on the roadmap next, guys. What are some of the features you're most excited about to have rolling out in the near future?
Well, we've got bots, as you've seen. There's still a lot of work to do there. We've got what we've got, and we've come a long way with it. But there's so much more to do on that. So that's going to take up a fair bit of our focus, I think. Especially when people start sort of spewing ideas in our direction that we haven't thought of. So that's going to be good.
End-to-end encryption. End-to-end encryption should be... Dfinity are building out a feature called vet keys. Once that is finished, we can then implement end-to-end encryption first on direct chats and then later on group chats. It's a bit harder for group chats, but that will be in the coming months, maybe 3 to 6 months.
Excellent.
Then we've got profile pages. I guess we'll probably get something fairly simple up to begin with, where each user can have a sort of addressable profile page, which can include a feed of personal posts, and then going for next step, you can imagine other people subscribing to your feed, a la Twitter or a la X. So starting off sort of simple profile pages, think Facebook, MySpace, that sort of thing, and then maybe going towards X.
Well, I'm excited to get those rolled out. I know you guys are busy, so we're gonna have to wrap up this call soon, so you guys can get back in the code and keep shipping features here. But our chat has been blowing up with some questions, so I want to ask you guys a couple of the questions that have come out of the chat. And if you're in either YouTube or our OpenChat space right now, you can jump in either and post a question, and we'll pose it to the team here. But let's start out with here's a great question: can we have a DeepSeek chatbot on OpenChat, guys? Can we do a DeepSeek chatbot? Can we get the latest Chinese AI technology up and running?
I did create an example, just a very simple example, talking to OpenAI APIs. And if you wish to build an off-chain bot to do that sort of thing, it's quite feasible. Yeah, to do it really well would be a bit more work, but perfectly doable, because you have to remember all the kind of history of the conversations and all that sort of thing to make it a polished experience, but it's totally doable. That, I suspect, is not what people really want. They really want some sort of AI running on chain, and I'd love to see if someone can do that. I haven't tried to do it myself yet.
Haven't they? They have got DeepSeek. Somebody's got DeepSeek running on chain, I think.
Well, it still talks. It still talks out to the actual LLMs, as I understand it. So I'm gonna. You have to. I'm
gonna ask a technical question here, and the devs might yell at me, but basically, OpenChat, the bot platform is like a tube that just connects in and gives access. So we can, anyone is able to connect any different various AI option as long as there's an API to connect to. So, I think step one of this would be take the DeepSeek model and get that up and running in a canister on chain that we control. And for privacy reasons and wanting that to be on chain. And then it's just a matter of hooking it up to the plumbing for the chatbot. Is that right? Or am I oversimplifying like crazy?
Well, first step, probably not getting it in a canister. As I say, you might want to just call into APIs as a first step, but slightly longer term, getting it in a canister, especially with a sort of 64-bit WASM, on the horizon. But then there's also the idea of maybe sort of rather than a bot integration, but actually building it as a first-class citizen into OpenChat, some sort of chat bot facility. We might do that as well.
Well, I encourage everyone that has questions about this and is interested to join our new Botathon community for the hackathon and get in there. And we're really excited to see what people can build, especially in the AI space. I think OpenChat is incredibly exciting, especially in like the community setting. There's a lot of AI bots in DM kind of interfaces, not so much in public groups. And that is a space I'm really, really excited to see our developer community tackle. Next question from Archetypal. I have a feature request. One thing I missed from Telegram is being able to forward multiple messages, like an entire conversation at a time. I use that a lot. Is that a feature we could get in OpenChat?
I seem to remember we talked about that like way back when doing forwarding, and just thought it was a bit niche, but maybe it's not. Like, it's definitely not impossible to do, is it?
Well, there was one idea, which was to forward the same message into multiple channels at once, and we kind of deliberately didn't want to do that because it's kind of spamming. Really, it would allow kind of spamming behavior. But this is slightly different. This is forwarding multiple messages at once.
How do you take a conversation and move the context to another space? I think might be a great one, which is something I'm always trying to do in conversations. I always have topics go off thread. And then I'm like, let's pull this what's relevant somewhere else. So I think that idea of how do I move a conversation around is a really good one. Vamara in the OpenChat group says a smaller DeepSeek model could fit on chain. 13B 4-bit version only has 20 gigabyte in size. So Yvonne, if you could start getting that set up now, I think we could have that up and running by the end of the call. Since you're quick.
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, it sounds
quick reactions guy. Perfect.
We'll tackle it over immediately.
Finally, the kind of question I'm looking for, a question for me about my podcasting equipment. Wenzel wants to know what kind of microphone I'm using. This is a Shure SM7B, which I highly recommend because it's basically dummy-proof and requires no setup at all. Julian, Julian, you're the real professional here. What are you rocking?
I have an MXL 990, which is about 20 years old.
All right. Everyone knows Julian's mic is bigger than mine now, and I'm not intimidated at all. We are.
I think it's just close to the camera, wasn't he?
We're running over an hour here, so I'm going to put out one last call. Any other questions that have come up in the chat that you guys want to field here?
Nothing specific. But I think everyone knows they can always ask us questions on OpenChat whenever they want to.
Well, the chat has now, I'm afraid, devolved into just AI on-chain conversation, which is ever so slightly outside. Now we need the feature to move this conversation somewhere else. All the threads are converging.
There was one question from V Mavra about having a bot that would return crypto price, that would show crypto prices, and yeah, that's definitely one of the first ones that we will have. We've been in contact with the Alpaca Labs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they're called. Alpaca Labs. They have the Paca price bot on Telegram, and we basically reached out to them saying, can you build exactly the same thing on OpenChat? And they replied saying, we've been waiting. And
Yeah, I mean,
So,
that's the response I get from a lot of developers is they're like, we can't wait. We're so excited to get into this.
yeah, so essentially you would say price, ICP, and then it would return with a message showing like the volume and the change in 24 hours and the current price and everything. But yeah, we'll have that very soon.
Yeah, sorry, not answering a question as such, but just prompted by that sort of partnership point that Hamish just made. There's a project called Fantasy Extreme, which is a sort of fantasy football and other sports, which they've got a fairly big team behind them, and they're building rapidly at the moment on ICP, and they're going to have OpenChat integrated into their onto their app, into their website, and then it'll also have a bot, a specific bot, which will an OpenChat bot, which will they'll tell it when, let's say, a football match starts. It will create a channel on OpenChat automatically, and then it will start posting, messages about the live updates on the football match, and allow people to sort of join in the chat there, amongst other things. They've got plans to do streaming video and all that stuff as well. But yeah, that should be quite a nice OpenChat bot integration coming up.
Will there be voice chat channels in communities in the future, kind of like Discord, where everyone in the channel is visible on the side with a main chat channel?
Well, it's something that we could do. I mean, you can already, of course, create a call and switch your cameras off, but it's more of a sort of, it's more gearing the UI towards that continuous voice channel concept that Discord has. It's definitely like, so we use a kind of pre-built off-the-shelf UI thing for our video. So we haven't invested a ton of resource into customizing it. And if we do want to really customize the experience, which we potentially do, we would have to put a bit of development into building our own video UI. So yeah, we could do that. We haven't done it yet, obviously.
Also, Julian, my wife is in the chat complimenting the size of your microphone. So it might be time to end this call if that's where things have led here. So I want to thank the OpenChat team, Matt, Julian, Yvonne, and Hamish. Thank you guys so much for doing the stream with me today. I really appreciate it. I want to thank everyone in the chat for being here, putting up with some of my technical issues. I want to be clear, that was user error, not the platform at the beginning of this call. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for our developers. Matt, you want to say something?
No, it was a bit of both, wasn't it?
No, I'm taking the hit on this one. This one was all me. So I bring a level of QA expertise at breaking software rarely seen in the wild, I find. So one last thing, the final note I want to end on is OpenChat is a technology stack, but the real beating heart of OpenChat is its communities. It's the people that participate and the sort of love and attention and interest and commentary and thoughts and participation that really make OpenChat worth something being a part of and so exciting and so dynamic. So I want to shout out some of the communities that we called out on today's stream. You can join Julian's music production community hosted on OpenChat. There's Zero to Hero, Fabio's technical analysis community, and of course the brand new OpenChat Botathon community that we just spun up, and I'd love you all to join there. Thank you all so much for being a part of it. We will be back next month and we will see you at the Botathon. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.